introduction.
Yeah. It's just so, does anybody have any ideas? Well,
Okay.
yes.
Because his character is very mysterious, so it would make sense that he'd just pop out of nowhere. He shouldn't have this big introduction.
Yes.
I kind of agree with Lara. I think that since the beginning of the book, they kind of made Gatsby like this mysterious kind of figure. And in chapters 2, and now that you did it with 3, like yesterday's group also talked about like Tom's party, and then this one is kind of more towards Gatsby's party. And you can kind of see, like, I feel like Fitzgerald made it more of a historical background than rather have it about Gatsby himself. So you kind of see two different parts of Long Island. You kind of see like different approaches that the characters have. You kind of see like a grand reveal and not. So you kind of see similarity between two people. I feel like it was more based on like the background instead of like Gatsby himself.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with Lara. It kind of adds to his mysteriousness, I guess. If Fitzgerald laid out all his cards on the table in the third chapter, then third part chapter, you wouldn't have anything to read about. So I think as the book progressed, like, we kept wanting to know more and more about him. We found out so early in the book.
Yes, Peter?
I think like on top of the mysterious bit, there's also like a character aspect to it, where like everything you know about Gatsby is because like the way that everyone else talks about him, and he doesn't talk about himself, so it's kind of, it seems like modest to me, and like the fact that everyone else is speaking about him kind of builds up some sort of tension and some expectation that he has, but he doesn't really mean it, or he kind of does in weird ways.
I know what you mean. I sort of had similar thoughts to that. Like, it was for, well, I thought it was for a mysterious purpose, but also to show, like, how much, like, the rumors that go around about him and how that develops his character.
There's also like a strange contradiction where he's the talk of the party, but it's practically like he's not even at the party. He's such a small part of the experience itself, and he's such a conversational topic.
Does anybody have any last thoughts about that question?
Well, I was just going to make a connection. Yesterday, remember how we were talking about Nick as a character and understanding him and understanding the narrative through his perspective? It's almost like we have to know and trust Nick before we can meet Gatsby, because on some level, if this is the person who's going to be feeding us the information, he's almost more important than Gatsby, even though the book is about Gatsby. So something that you guys should think about, and I don't want to overstep too much from here because I know you have other questions, is just thinking about the progression of the narrative, as well as the sort of side conversations between people and what they reveal to us about who they are as people. Okay?
And the next question is, before finishing the test, what do you think Gatsby had told Jordan? What kind of amazing things do you think he told him? Was it predictable that it was about Daisy, or did you think that they were connected in any way?
Well, I know when I was reading it, I thought that it wasn't about Daisy. I thought that he liked Jordan.
I did too.
I was so wrong.
Anyone have any thoughts about that? Or should we move on to the next question?
I thought the same thing.
I didn't have any expectation.
Okay, and what did you think the point of the car scene was? Did you think that had any significance in the book at all?
The story.
Any comments to me?
Well, I thought, since nobody thinks anything, I thought that it was, of course, after reading the book, of course, I thought it was foreshadowing what happened to Myrtle at the end. And I mean, I know that Jordan wasn't the one who hit her, but they were saying the carelessness of drivers and stuff. So I thought that not accident, but that little thing was to foreshadow.
I'm glad you brought up the word careless. It's something that comes up repeatedly in the text when describing characters in the text. for lots of different things. And then the whole gender piece also came up again yesterday. And I never really thought about it before until you guys brought it up yesterday. But the whole thing about women, going back to also Nick's sort of monologue about how you can't trust women, she was always dishonest. There's a really interesting piece of gender stereotyping in this time period, obviously, so it seems that even the most unbiased characters seem to have opinions on these matters that I think is interesting. And I wanted to open kind of that wider narrative question up about Jordan, about the relationship with Nick, about the foreshadowing, which I think is also fairly appropriate. So, folks, what do you think about Jordan, about Nick, about everything else that's going on at this point?
Yes, Barbara.
I think the relationship is a bit opportunistic. I don't know if they actually have any real genuine physical feelings for one another. It's just a casual thing. They're bored and they found each other.
Does anyone have any comments?
Well, Alex, can you go back to your text, what Fitzgerald actually says in that space, and can we just think about the text, and then Lara, while he's looking for it, what was the comment you were going to make?
Just to go back, I think Gatsby's presence at the party is kind of similar to Nick's role in the text, because he's physically present, but he's not very active in what goes on. That's how Gatsby is in his own home.
So we ended it with saying, referring to Jordan, she was incurably dishonest and made no difference to me. Dishonesty in a woman is a thing you never deeply blame. I was casually sorry and then I forgot. Everyone suspects himself of at least one of the cardinal virtues, and this is mine. I am one of the few honest people that I've ever known.
So, thoughts. Why don't you all take a minute in your notebooks and just jot down some thoughts you have about that specific statement and see if you could connect it to some of the stuff that came up yesterday. Those of you who don't participate in the actual conversation, be prepared to add it to the hashtag, please. And group leaders in the front, ladies and gentlemen, try to be ready to kind of go specifically into that text and try to make some connections back to what